Hi there, folks. My name's NovaWrap and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are for the very late edition of the NovaWrap for the September the 30th, 2018, and we apologies. I want to apologise for that. I am traveling at the moment, and I only have my tablet, and it seemed that Windows Update needed to do an update, and it broke all of my recording software. But nevertheless, the news, of course, must go on, and we are here, despite all of the technical gremlins. We are here back with a new episode. So to get started with this episode, we are going to launch the release of the guys over at Eagle Soft Development Group have released their rendition of the Cirrus SR22 turbo aircraft. Now, the guys over at EagleSoft, they're a developer that have come in and out of my sort of radar over the last few years. They were quite prolific back in the FS9 days, but they haven't really been too active over the last few years. They've sort of made tentative steps towards prepared and towards prepared V3 and V4. But not a lot of their product range has actually sort of made its way over. So this is a fairly big step for them to actually move what was one of their bigger, more popular products to actually move it over into the FSX and prepared world. But what is interesting though is that it is exclusive to the 32-bit ESP platforms. So this is only available for FSX, FSX Team Edition, and Prepared version 3. It is not supported by Prepared version 4, which, given the fact that at the moment, now I'm not complaining about this, believe me, like it's great to see the developers still supporting FSX and Prepared v3. But it was very interesting, an interesting choice that they're not supporting Prepared v4 at all. Many developers now, when they're updating their older product lines, are shortcutting straight to Prepared v4. So, in a way, I'm very happy that they are supporting the V3 and FSX. But in another way, I'm sort of like, okay, what's the barrier? Why are they? Well, what's the reason they're not bringing it to V4? Which is, yeah, as I said, it's interesting. Their website sort of still suggests that it's coming soon in V4, but not this time. Either way, the rendition of this aircraft, it claims to be a very highly decaled and a highly accurate rendition of the turbocharged version of the SR22, complete with supporting the Cirrus airframe parachute system, of course made famous by that aircraft that ditched off the west coast of the United States a few years ago. It has a accurate and updated virtual cockpit, high definition 3D model both internally and externally, full support of high definition graphics and high definition textures for the liveries, accurate views from the cockpit. Includes a accurate and extremely realistic Cirrus flight dynamics, and a full animation of the passenger and cargo doors, and a full performance and sound accurate rendition of the 1055-N turbocharged engine for the aircraft as well. This is again, as I said, like this is a developer that sort of got mixed sort of words about it. They sort of come and go. So I'm interested to hear that and the reason why I'm a bit hesitant about this is the fact that there is very little content available to show what it looks like in sim, both internally and externally. They've released a very small number of screenshots, mostly showing off the liveries that are there for the aircraft, and very little of sort of like the actual VC. They've got the main panel shown in a couple of different lighting conditions, and it looks pretty good. But yeah, just a lack of information is sort of what it is interesting there. Now, one actual side note to note of this one is that they are fully compatible with and fully integrated and support full integration with Mindstar Avionics. Now, Mindstar Avionics are a group of avionics developers for simulations that are designed to bridge the gap from sort of like hobby simmers to those who actually want to use simulation to sort of actually practice for their type ratings and practice for real aircraft. So they support full, accurate, and licensed renditions of Garmin's, a wide range of Garmin and Avidyne avionics equipment for real aircraft. So it's very interesting that they do support full integration both in 2D pop-up panel and virtual cockpit integrations as well. So it does lend credence to the fact that they're trying to sell themselves as a very highly accurate one. And again, also kind of does support the fact that that's why and again, it does lean towards supporting why they're using V3, as a lot of flight schools and things like that wouldn't actually have made the jump to V4 yet. So interesting notes there. If you do want to grab this one and pick this one up, and add to your GA collection. This one is available for around about $30 US, available now from Sim Market for your aviation simulation pleasure now. In another aircraft release for the ESP world, a very, very famous and one who I consider is one of the greatest freeware producers that is still going for the ESP platforms. Robert James Richardson has brought two new titles, two new aircraft to our virtual skies, and brought it to us for free. He has brought the CMC Leopard and the Aero Shark, Shark Aero Shark. Oh, now that's going to get you tongue-tied. Aircraft to flight simulation. Now, a quick little background on this one. The Leopard was a twin-jet mid-wing monoplane of composite construction, designed during the 1980s. Originally designed in the 1980s, going through into the 1990s. The team was essentially, it was sort of like almost like a home build sort of kit. Was a bit of backyard developers slowly sort of progressing towards making something that would be affordable and accessible for a lot of people. With it's very cutting edge, very sleek lines, but still being able to be operated by within reach of the general aviation community. So it was a twin jet sort of swing jet swept wing aircraft. It definitely cut a stylish line and looked very impressive. It was available as a four-seater. And there was variants that would actually allow it to be and there's also a six-seater variant available that was designed as well. Sadly, it never got beyond two prototypes and never entered mass production. And the original designer and founder of the company sadly passed away in the early 2000s, which sort of brought the whole project to the end. So it is one of those things that is a look at what could have been, but it is an oddity enough that looks pretty cool, and it's great to see it in the flight simulation world. So this one's available from Robert James Richardson's website. Along with that, it is also available the Shark. Now the Shark is a sports light sport aircraft, or European ultralight, which is a glass cockpit and carbon fiber monoplane, designed to sort of again fill that niche of something that's a very sporty, very fast aircraft, but accessible to a wider range of aviators. Both of those who want to have a full private pilot's license, but also those who want to have the more recreational pilot's license, or sports pilot's license as they're known in the US. So this aircraft is a very lightweight aircraft, and very fairly small in its dimensions as well. Powered by a high-powered Rotax engine. It uses fiberglass construction and a honeycomb and a PVC foam honeycomb structure as well, to actually give it that strength, but keep its weight very light as well. It includes single slotted electrically operated flaps along the trailing edge, and with the very sleek, sharp designs, with a very swept back with sort of the wing sweep, swept wingtips, and a pronounced sweep on the tail planes as well. So very sleek looking aircraft. There's about I think there's two or three of them flying in Australia now as well. Very impressive little machines they are. So this one comes to the ESP world for the first time, thanks to Robert as well. Now both of these aircraft are available from Robert's website. I'll put the link in the description down below. And both of these are available once again as a gift to the community. So, as I said, Robert is one of my favorite freeware designers. He produced some amazing quality stuff, particularly stuff that also that's more unusual, but he still sort of gives a chance for people to be able to look into the world of some of the things that could have been, and also some things that may not necessarily capture many people's imagination, but still just make up a very important part of the aviation world. So it's great to see examples of this work come into our flight simulators now. As I said, these ones are available now from Robert's website, available now for free. And another release for the ESP platform world, the guys over at Carinado have come out with a new release this week with the Diamond DA62 G1000 edition. So the Diamond DA62, so many of us of course would know the DA42 from Flight Sim World, or from FSX, and prepared already. The Diamond 62 was essentially the uprated bigger brother version. So this is more of a still operates the twin engine, but instead of being is available in diesel or Jet A1 powered engines. But it's designed though to have a bigger cabin. So there's two versions available for this one. There is a 5-seater version and a 7-seater version. So you've got one available sort of with the 2 seats at the front and then 3 in the back, or then you've got another one with another 2 jump seats at the back. Now, interestingly enough, the reason why that was designed that way was that in Europe, if you go above a certain weight restriction, you actually have to pay higher air traffic control fees. So if you so by having the 5-seat version, you avoid those fees. But with the airspace rules being a little different in the US, they were able to operate off of the 7-seat version. They still use the same airframe, still use the same power plants, but just simply there they offer that sort of bit of extra room, as it were, in the back for the American version. Now, both of these versions are modeled as part of this release from Carinado. Now, along with the normal stuff that we've come to expect from Carinado, we've come to, as we usually come to see and expect, the beautiful, highly detailed 3D model, both internally and externally. A beautiful set of lighting systems included as well, like the lighting and the texturing and the HD rendering of the textures just looks absolutely amazing. Something that I believe is a first for Carinado, though, they're actually modeling wing flex as well. Because for those who, of course, know Diamond Aircraft have their very long, thin wings. And as such, they sort of do have that wing flex effect. But it's the first time, as far as I'm aware, that Carinado have actually added that to one of their aircraft, which is really cool to see. Fully highly detailed avionics systems, including the Garmin G1000 glass cockpit. Also includes the Carinado G1000s includes SIDS, stars, and approach modes, and updatable databases compatible with NovaWrap. Includes a free set of AirAcs for 1601 are included, but it's fully compatible with NovaWrap subscription to update to the latest systems as well. Full implementation of HD materials and lighting effects for prepared. As well as a full set of sounds derived from an actual DA62 as well. So beautiful, highly detailed rendition as well. Something else that's of interest as well is that for those who may have the synthetic vision system from Carinado, this aircraft is fully compatible with that setup as well. So you have a new aircraft that you can integrate your SVS into. So if you do use that, which is, by the way, a really cool setup, by the way, it does look cool. If you are wanting to add this aircraft to your hangar, is available now for $35 or your regional equivalent, available from your favorite flight sim retailer, available now. In another aircraft release, this time exclusively for Prepared V4, the guy behind Bravo Zulu. So, for those who might remember, there was a developer many moons ago called Flying Stations. Now, Flying Stations specialized in delivering content that was both aircraft and ships from the Royal Navy and the Fleet Air Arm. Now they were very prolific through FS9, through the early days of FSX as well. In fact, I've got their Buccaneer, which I absolutely love. I think it's a great rendition of that aircraft. Unfortunately, however, a few years ago they sort of went fairly dark. They'd been hinting at a couple of projects they'd been working on, and one of their lead project team, one of the 3 project team that formed Flying Stations, was a gentleman by the name of Skippy Bing. Skippy Bing has worked with many other developers over the years, including Robert James Richardson that we mentioned earlier, and he's well known for his texture work in FSX as well as his modeling skills. And he was the driving force behind one of the last projects that Flying Stations had sort of announced that they were working on, which was a Fairey Firefly. Now, with the sort of, I don't want to say demise of Flying Stations, because they are still technically still going, they just haven't put any updates out for a couple of years. Skippy's gone off on his own in his own directions now and taken the Firefly with him, and he's sort of rebranded himself under the name Bravo Zulu. So he's specializing in prepared aircraft and shipping. And his first release under the Bravo Zulu name is the Fairey Firefly Mark 1. Now, for those who don't know, the Fairey Firefly was a 2-seat single-engine fighter designed for the Fleet Air Arm, designed to replace the Fairey Fulmar, and was sort of designed to sort of fill a very urgent specification at the outbreak of the Second World War. However, due to various political and construction and demands on the industry, on the war, on Britain's war machine, the first ones didn't actually really get delivered until 1943 and weren't operational until 1944. So they were fairly late comers to the war. But still, they still served very well. They served in the Western Theatre by including pre-D-Day attacks on the Tirpitz and other anti-ship and anti-submarine operations throughout the North Atlantic. They would then go on to actually sort of serve British forces, British and Commonwealth forces in the Indian and Pacific Oceans towards for the last part of the Second World War, and again on into peacekeeping duties post World War II. Now, this version that comes that's been designed by Skippy Beng is for the F1, also the FR1 and the NF1. So you get the full functioning, the full functioning of the aircraft, including a highly detailed 3D model externally and internally. 10 authentic liveries are included, multiple stores options, a full set of Youngman flaps, including accurate flight dynamic implementations, including a low drag cruising position, as well as the high drag landing settings as well. Fully functioning reflectors and gyro gun sights for the FR1 and the NF1 as well. Full flight model based on original pilot's notes and historical publications and archival data. And it also includes an early generation APS-6 radar display as well, which is a working radar, which by the way was one of the cool things. Like it's none of this fancy modern radar stuff. Like this is full of echoes and terrain stuff, and it's really, really well done. They had a similar setup for the Buccaneer radar that was built into the Flying Stations one. So it's great to see that sort of challenge of this radar's actually made its way into this aircraft as well. So there you go. Anyway, but as I said, this is a great aircraft to see. Great to see this finally made its way into Prepared. Now, for the moment, it is exclusively to Prepared V4. Now, Skippy has made the spec that he will be considering an FSX version. He is not 100% sure yet. He was originally planning on only doing the prepared V4 version, but there is an option that he may be looking at getting an FSX version out. If you do want to see one, he has asked for some community feedback, so please drop him a note over on his blog, on the bravozulu.blog, which I'll put on the link in the description down below. And if you do want to pick up this aircraft for Prepared V4, you can pick this one up available now, either direct from the website or from Sim Market, coming in at around about $20 available now. And other flight simulation releases for the ESP platforms, the guys over at Orbix have come out with quite a little Scandinavian bundle for everybody this week. So they come out with their release of Kiruna Airport. I have certain I've stuffed up the pronunciation of that one. But it is not just one airport. It is, in fact, 3 Swedish airports that you get to have included with this package here. So for the grand old package of price of less than $30, you'll be able to get Kiruna Airport, Visby Airport, and Dala Airport as well, which is a variety of 3 very distinctly different Scandinavian Swedish airports for you to explore. And these are very highly ultra-detailed renditions of each of the airports, including a full use of baked lighting, of full use of high-quality, high-definition textures, photoreal scenery, and as well as being compatible with multiple scenery, with multiple seasons as well for all the scenery. Full use of implementation of people flow and creature flow throughout all of the airports. Custom vehicles, objects are included, as well as introduce of various city scenery for each of the towns has been modeled as well. You also get multiple landmarks for each of the airports are included as well. Full implementation of dynamic lighting for free prepared V4 users, and a full implementation of between 30 and 50 centimeter per pixel airport and approach plate coverage for all 3 airports. Now, the other interesting thing that is included with this one as well is that for prepared V4 users, there is also an experimental implementation of a dynamic snow effect. So you will actually see snow accumulation happening on the airport if you do implement a snow sort of weather theme coming through. You'll actually see the snow coming in. You'll see the snow piling up around the airport as well. So there's a lot of interesting tech being demonstrated here as well. But that particular feature is exclusive for V4 and will not appear in any other versions of Prepared or the FSX version. If you are wanting to pick this one up, as I said, it's available now from the Orbix store, coming in at $30 or your regional equivalent, available now. And another scenery release for the ESP platforms. Again, this one is for a prepared V4 exclusive release. The guys over at WF Scenery Studio have rebooted their version of Hangzhou Jiusan International Airport. Again, absolutely certain I have completely mispronounced that. This is a airport that they have previously done. It's a Chinese airport in the Zhejiang province of China, in the Yangtze River Delta region. So this airport is one of the busiest airports in China, including as a focus city for Air China, China Eastern, China Southern, and Hainan Airlines and Xiamen Airlines. However, it doesn't appear that it's actually been updated from its previous version. So previously, the guys over at WF Scenery Studios have produced a version of this for FSX and prepared versions 1, 2, and 3. This is their reboot of it to bring it over into prepared V4. Now, looking at the images and looking at the layout, it doesn't look like anything has actually changed other than making it prepared V4 compatible. But either way, it does support, it does include 3D grass, animated jetways via SODE, full support of full implementation of dynamic lighting, and custom buildings and animated AI vehicles for the airport as well are included as well as full up-to-date, realistic ground markings, not necessarily up-to-date one, and buildings and air terminals as they have appeared as 2017. So as I said, it might be, I'm not 100% sure if it's an update. It's suggesting that it has been updated, but the pictures I'm looking at show there's no changes, so I'm not 100% sure. If you are a new user, don't have one previously, you can pick this one up for about $30 from SimMarket. If you are an existing user of the old FSX version and want to update to your prepared V4 experience, you can do this one via a special upgrade for about €5, so around about $7. We'll get you updated that one into prepared V4, available now from SimMarket. In another prepared V4 exclusive release, the guys over at SimWings, in conjunction with Aerosoft, have rebooted their mega airport Madrid into the professional range. So again, this is just a straight update of the airport Madrid Bahajas. And this gives you an update. Again, there is no real update of the airport for this one. This simply is an update into moving it from FSX and the original versions and earlier versions prepared into prepared V4. They've recompiled the BGLs and all the software, all the BGLs and all the photoreal scenery have been recompiled to make them compatible with prepared V4. They've optimized the buildings and textures for implementation of the new shadows and dynamic lighting as used for Prepared V4. The ground layout and etc. and the runway lighting have also been redone in lines with Prepared V4. So basically nothing's changed. It's just simply been moved over into Prepared V4. Now, again, as long-time viewers of my channel will know, I have mixed feelings about charging for these upgrades. I get that there is a bit of work to do, so I'm kind of, and as a developer myself, I get the got to upgrade, but this one I am a little cheesed off about. So as I said, from the description, there appears to be no change to actually the content here. It's just a straight move over into Prepared V4. Now, with the previous example we just saw from WF Scenery Studio, basically for $7 you get an update into the V4 version. Cool, no worries, that's fine. Now, the purchase price for this airport, brand new, is $33. Okay, cool. The upgrade price is $30 for if you are an existing owner of the previous FSX prepared version of Mega Airport Madrid. What the hell? That's $3 off. Like, that's just, yeah, no, sorry. I just fundamentally, that's wrong. If you're gonna, you might as well not even have bothered offering the upgrade. Like, seriously, what the hell? Anyway, so a little disappointed with that one, but yes, if you do want to upgrade the experience, and if you're an existing owner and want to get in Prepare V4, guess you're going to have to fork out for it. But if you are a new user and haven't used it before, you can pick it up for pretty much the same price. As I said, $33 available now from Aerosoft or your favorite flight sim retailer available now. In another scenery release exclusive to Prepared V4, the guys over at Pilot Experience Sim have released their first piece of scenery offering. So Pilot Experience are more, possibly you might know their name more for their Prepared through V3 and V4 sort of performance enhancement tools or performance sort of adjustment tools for to get your best out of your simming experience. And the guys have now ventured for the first time into their world of scenery development, and they have released with La Mole Saint-Tropez, which is a airport in France with a very challenging approach through some mountains. So there is this is a interesting piece of scenery. It comes through here with a 2018 AFCAD file as the airport actually appears at this at the start of this year. Includes a full implementation of high definition textures for both the runway, the aprons, and the surrounding buildings that are modeled as well. Full implementation of runway lighting systems as well as taxiway lighting systems as well. They've also included helipads as well for not only for the airport but the surrounding area. Surrounding photo reel covers the airport, the surrounding town, and is designed to work and integrate directly with Orbix's FTX or Orbix Global and with OpenLC Europe as well. Various other things have been included here as well, including base spot lighting, updated 3D vegetation placement, and a whole slew more of features are included here as well. So overall, looking pretty impressive for a first-time scenery release from these guys, and also coming at a very affordable price as well, coming at around about $17 available now from Sim Market. Available now. In another Prepared V3, Prepared V3, Prepared V4 exclusive release. Well, actually, kind of exclusive, kind of not. So the guys over at Just Sim announced the release of the rendition of Rhodes International Airport. So Rhodes International is a Greek airport servicing the western side of the island of Rhodes in Greece, which is a very famous tourist and historical destination. So the airport has a single runway operations here and is very much a hub for tourists flocking to the Mediterranean for their summer holidays. It's designed to take a large number of aircraft, usually the 737, a lot of the budget airlines operating out of here, but can take everything up to and including 747s as well. This has been designed to be fully compatible with FTX Global, OpenLC Europe, and FTX Global's software as well. Full implementation of shadow and occlusions effects on the terminal and other airport buildings, along with a full implementation of lighting systems and dynamic lighting for Prepared V4 users as well. High-resolution ground textures, custom runway textures, high-resolution building textures, all included along with up-to-date 3D models and layouts of the airport as it appears at the start of 2018. It is also noted it is fully compatible with AI traffic as well. It includes a range of night effects, 3D birds, 3D grass, and still offering seamless performance as well. Now, the great thing about this is that this one is not only available for Prepared V4, it is also available for X-Plane as well. So although it wasn't quite a simultaneous release, the guys over at Just Sim did make this available for X-Plane 11 just a couple of days later. So all included in this week, and there you go. Now, for each of these, for whichever platform you choose, whether it be X-Plane or whether it be Prepared V4, you can pick these ones up for $20 or your original equivalent, available now at Sim Market. Moving away from the more traditional flight simulators and moving into some of the other children of the flight simulation genre at the moment. The guys over at Infinite Flight have updated their content again with a new aircraft. So this one was first showcased over at Flight Sim Expo this year in Las Vegas. They have now finally released it. They have released their rendition of the TBM 930 into the mobile flight simulator. So this offers accurate performance data for this single turboprop aircraft, which is, by the way, it's a really cool little airplane. I've always loved the TBM series. They look sleek, they look fast, and they're just, they're just cool. I really like them. Anyway, so yes, as I said, this was originally sort of indicated and showcased at the Flight Sim Expo in over a few months ago back in Vegas, but now it's available for release for all of the Pro subscription users. Now, this aircraft is included, as I said, includes a range of accurate-to-life interior sounds and exterior sounds, including engine sounds, as well as full cockpit and main door animations are included as well. Max cruising speed of 330 knots, a maximum range of 1,700 miles, and a full takeoff and lands as well, for accurately modeled takeoff and landing roll distances, all included as well. So this one's available for all pro users of the Infinite Flight package, or if you want to give it out, you can try it out now. Just head over to your mobile device, available on iOS and on Android, available now. And another one of those random flight simulators that are kicking around these days, the guys over at Aerofly FS2 users, now you have a new destination that you can pick up now thanks to the guys over at Orbix. So the guys over the team over at Orbix have brought their rendition of Palm Springs International over to Aerofly FS2. So previously it was available for the ESP platforms, but has now been brought over to the Aerofly FS2 platform now as well. Now this is an ultra detailed rendition of the Palm Springs International, including over 1,500 square kilometers of coverage in 30 centimeter to 1 meter per pixel resolution. Photoreal resolution has been included through here as well. A custom 10-meter terrain mesh has also been included for the surrounding area, including the peak behind the airport of San Jacinto of over 10,000 feet has been included here as well. So there's a lot in there for both your high flyers, your tube liners, and also going to be a lot of detail there for the low and slow flyers as well. Dozens of custom landmarks have been included, along with the Palm Springs aerial tramway helipads have been included as well. So something to look forward to when helicopters make their debut into the Aerofly FS2 simulator. Also has been included with custom animated content, custom detail of the airport terminal, advanced rendering and dynamics and graphical dynamics have been included as well, along with Orbix People Flow technology has now been integrated into the Aerofly scenery as well. So a lot of bang for your buck coming in here, and again coming in here for the price of $30 US, or your regional equivalent, available now from Orbix Direct. Leaving the flight simulation world behind, but moving into space now. So the guys over at, I have no idea how to pronounce this, but Quovac, I think is how the company's name is pronounced. So they've produced an interesting little title called A Mars Adventure Red Turtle. Now this is a VR exclusive to VR experience. This is a single player one. Now this is a photo real-time VR experience for commanding a Mars rover expedition. Now it does build on sort of the things that we've seen with the Curiosity rover and a few other the explorers and various other robotic explorers of the Red Planet over the last few years. But this one is also sort of designed to be the first chapter in a story. So this is the part that intrigues me a moment. They've kept it very quiet about what the story is. As you go through, but you essentially go through in the words of the developer. It says what starts as an optimistic, scientific, almost sterile mission slowly descends into a dark experience with unknowns towards the end. So I'm really curious about what it means to be like the first chapter in an adventure and what it's going to be. It's very intriguing. Now, the price point is very simple as well. It says only $8, but as I said, it's VR exclusive, so sadly I will not be getting it anytime soon. But yeah, for any other VR users, it could be interesting. There's no real information though from the developer about what this series is going to be like, or how, like, when the next episode's going to be, or or even there's no information even on this one whether you just buy this chapter, whether this means that you're buying the whole story or whether you're going to have to buy the rest of that story later. They've kept that a bit under wraps at the moment, which is a bit disappointing. I'd like to hear a bit more information about that. But otherwise, if you guys wanted to have a look at this VR experience, pick this one up, available now on Steam. Moving back to terra firma now, the guys over at Big Moon Entertainment and Deep Silver have released Dakar 18. So this is the officially licensed version of the Dakar Rally in computer game format. And I didn't realize this, but the Dakar Rally is no longer held in Africa. It's now in South America. I had no idea, and has been since 2009. I'm like, okay, I did not actually know that. So I learned something during the research for this episode. But yes, the Dakar 18 is a rendition of the game as it progresses its way through South America. Now this is basically it's been designed to update it to have a whole heap of actually modeled physics And to take you through the options, so you can actually choose between all 5 vehicle categories that are featured as part of the Dakar Rally. So you've got cars, motorcycles, quads, trucks, and UTVs are all included. You get full control over the vehicles and the drivers as well, including licensed vehicles from all the major manufacturers, and licensed renditions of many of the drivers are included as well. So there's a lot of bang for your buck in coming through this one. This whole here of open world experience going through Peru, Bolivia, and Argentina with over 12,000 square kilometers of open world. And part of the challenge of this is that you do have to navigate yourself. There's no sort of, you're not following a track, you're not following roads, you're not following anything like that. You actually have to drive in real time through this to actually navigate yourself way through this as well, so which is really, really interesting. So I'm intrigued about how accurate the terrain is and stuff like that. Now it does actually simulate all 14 stages. It simulates 14 stages between from Lima to Cordoba. Beautiful set of graphics through here, full time and weather simulation, including all sort of variety of everything from dry burning sands and Sahara to desert conditions, all the way through heavy rain and riverbeds are included as well. You actually can go through, so you've got a bit of a career options as well as there. Do you just drive for victory? You can actually stop and help other drivers as well. So there's a lot of interesting things on here going on here. Now, was the other thing I did notice as well is that there's a lot of mixed feedback coming from people who are actually sort of using it at the moment. And many similar sort of comments come through here saying this, they feel that the physics engine's a bit off and the driving's a bit off. So don't play a lot of driving games, but it'll be interesting to hear from any of my viewers who do grab this and do actually play this one. And let me know what you think of actually Dakar 18 as well if you do pick it up. This is available for PC users, available on Steam. If you are a Xbox or PlayStation 4 user, you are able to pick this one up from your relevant stores. Available now for $50 or your original equivalent, available now. And that wraps up the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for joining me on this late edition. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. All right, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.